Given the uncertain nature of things in our present circumstances, and the very real possibility that this situation might endure for quite some time, pastors need to act with urgency in order to ensure that the Catholic Church is present in meeting the needs of parishioners and announcing the gospel to all persons who live within parish boundaries. Spinning out resources or live streaming Mass might be helpful for those who are highly engaged or who have some sort of spiritual life, or perhaps can distinguish well between which resources coming into their inbox might be helpful and which are less helpful. But as we know, many of our parishioners are less engaged and perhaps not as well equipped to handle circumstances such as these, at least on the spiritual side of things. So, what do we do to help them right now? How do we reach those who are completely disengaged within our parishes? How do we help meet the needs of those who really need help the most in this time? As people are grappling with these questions, I fear that much of the inquiry and many of the attempts at answers are taking place in silos. In other words, this crisis is simply perpetuating the typical silo structure that plagues many parish teams, and remote working is going to end up breeding isolation. But if the Church is called to missionary discipleship, and she is in every age and in the midst of every crisis, we have to acknowledge the fact that missionary discipleship does not happen in private. It's not the result of a siloed affair. At the core of the Church's first missionary expression, after Pentecost, we see this life springing forth from communion, from a communion of persons united with Jesus Christ and united with one another. The source of the Church's mission comes from communion with Christ. It comes from her prayer. As social distancing takes hold, silo structures that are already in place within parish leadership may very well become worse, rendering our efforts towards evangelization, which are really crucial right now, might render them kind of fractured or fragmented. People will be stepping on each other's toes, or it may wash away completely. Something very intentional must be done in order to prevent this from happening, and to ensure that pastors aren't facing this crisis alone. The Evangelization Action Plan is designed specifically to help a pastor assemble a team, and to ensure that all planning is coming from a place of prayer and not panic. It helps establish a pattern or a structure of accountability as the parish seeks to carry out her mission today.